even nothing. It's a setup, people. It is a set up. That's what it is. Here is, let me take a swig here. Oh, no, it's not whiskey. What is it? What is it today? It is cranberry raspberry. That's what it is. Here's something that somebody sent me. They thought it was interesting. I get why, too. The article is from NPR, National Progressive Radio, Why Painting Tumors Could Make Brain Surgeons Better. Perhaps one of the most uncomfortable things a doctor has to tell patients is that their medical problems are iatrogenic. I don't know what that means. Oh, it's right here. What that means is they were caused by a doctor in the course of the treatment. Nah. Sometimes these iatrogenic injuries are accidental, but sometimes, because of the limits of medical technology, they can be inevitable. Now, medical research in Seattle thinks he has a way to eliminate some of the inevitable ones. James Olson is a physician at the Seattle Children's Hospital, where he primarily takes care of kids with brain cancer. He also has a cancer research. He's also a cancer researcher at the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center in Seattle. MRI reveals the location of a brain tumor, but it's one thing to see the tumor in a scan, quite another to find the tumor in a living brain. Olson says that today surgeons splay open the brain in an effort to find exactly where the tumor is. Just doing that can cause problems. I can see why. And the surgeons can't always tell tumor cells from healthy brain cells, so inevitably the thorough doctors remove some healthy cells too. Listen to their. We got an answer to this. The result is that many times the patient's tumors are successfully removed, but the child is left with movement problems or memory problems or vision problems. About a decade ago, Olson set out on a search for something that would make it easier for surgeons to find and remove tumors. What he came up with is a product that he calls tumor paint. Tumor paint is a molecule that consists of two parts. One is a chlorotoxin. The word toxic is in that word. A kind of protein that can attach itself to chloride channels on a cell surface. The other is a dye that will fluoresce when you shine a light on it. It turns out the chlorotoxin in tumor paint particularly likes the chloride channels on the surface of tumor cells. So if you inject the paint into a cancer patient's bloodstream, it will attach itself to the tumor. Now, I'm looking at this, I'm going, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Here's the problem. I'm going to see, where does it say this here? This means tumor can be made to glow during surgery, making it easier for the surgeon to find and remove. It should also make less invasive surgery possible. We think that tumor paint allows surgeons eventually to do a keyhole surgery like you would do for fixing a knee or removing an appendix. We think they won't have to split the brain open and retract it, thereby eliminating many of the iatrogenic injuries. One piquant aspect of this new approach, the chlorotoxin, here we go. Remember, the word toxic is in that word, which means poison. The chlorotoxin in the paint was derived from, get your Bibles out, turn to Revelation 9, scorpion venom. Dun, dun, dun! I found that very, very interesting. What else are we talking about today? Boy Scout Alternative. Trail Life USA launches premier Christian group for boys. The newly announced Trail Life USA expects to become a premier Christian organization for boys and young men when it fully launches in the new year. Its goal is to counter the, quote, moral free fall of the nation and raise a generation of faithful husbands, fathers, citizens, and leaders. Organizers told the National Inaugural Convention in Nashville, Tennessee, Friday night. So and I'm not necessarily knocking this. Apparently some church groups got together and they said, you know what? we're not having our boys go in Boy Scouts because they'll get molested by pedophiles and other boys. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to come up with our own group, the Trail Life USA, and we're not going to be doing that stuff. Now, here's maybe I shouldn't be so negative all the time. But, however, it kind of is my job. Number one, how long do you think it will take for a sodomite civil rights group to sue, literally, the pants off of these people? How long do you think that'll take? Also, and let me just kind of speak candidly for a minute. No, candidly does not mean with candy. Does it not ever occur to people that sodomite child molesters go to church? They do. They do. One of the former leaders of the Southern Baptist Convention was arrested in Oklahoma City while he was there doing some kind of business thing or something like that, hiring male prostitutes. Well, that doesn't look good, does it? There are... I'm being very careful how I say this. There are prominent men, and names of which that if I said it, some of you would go, oh. Others would go, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Who are pedophile sodomites. One I know for sure, okay, and it's not me. They're in churches, people. Judas was among the 12, and they're there. And I just would not recommend to have a very limited group of men from a church or even a Christian organization go out on an overnight outing with a large group of boys, even in the churches. Reg Kelly preached a message several years ago, David's Mighty Men. And it was the first message I ever heard Reg preach on. Reg has been through a lot of bad stuff, and he's seen a lot of stuff, and he just decided that he wasn't going to pull any punches. And if you remember, it made me mad to hear him preach. But anyway, he said this, that he knew of a pastor that had like a guy working with their youth. And he kept trying to talk up about how he was going to have a pool party for just the boys. This was a fundamental church. Just the boys were going to have a pool party at this youth band's house. And the pastor kept saying, no, we don't have time, or, we got liabilities, or this and that and the other. And parents didn't understand. They were going, Pastor, we know you preach against, girls and boys swimming together. And, but, here it's only going to be boys. They're going to be at this youth pastor's, and he said in the sermon, he said, that pastor was about 90% sure that youth pastor was a queer. And he knew that those boys would have been in danger. He didn't have the evidence. He didn't have pictures or anything like that. But he just was suspicious. And he wouldn't do it. And that is the sad state that churches have gotten into, is that you can't trust people with your children anymore. What a sad state of affairs we live in right now. Let's go to, I don't even remember where we left off. Let's see here. Oh, there is something I want to, who sent this to me? Who sent it? Somebody sent me this really cool picture. Where is it? Right here. Here we go. I use stuff like this in the Babel Conspiracy and, let's see, the Beast of 9/11. I talked about it in there in that Watchman video. And somebody found this. You remember a rock group called Supertramp? Okay? Some of you automatically got songs in your head. I never listened to Supertramp, so I don't know what they sang. But here is from their album, Breakfast in America. Came out in 1979. Okay? This is the album cover on the left. You see the Twin Towers there. What the person did was reverse this picture. And what do you see? Right over the two towers, 9/11. And sometimes on stuff like this, I'm going, well, okay, well, whatever. But when I saw this one, I'm going, okay, I think we can use this. We were talking about a number. We were talking about this number 46, what it relates to. The temple, the question that we asked was, and somebody had mentioned that I gave everybody homework, and I don't remember what homework I told everybody. I don't remember what it was. Is somebody, I don't know, maybe can send me a quick note or something like that. I don't remember what the homework was. But anyway, let's pick back up on this. We were talking, the question was, in 2 Thessalonians 2, what is the temple of the Antichrist? What is that temple? Because it says, so that he is God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Now, here's what this would look like in symbolic form. You have the Masonic House of the Lodge temple. It's a temple in Washington, D.C. I don't know who is a member of this lodge. I don't know. You know, some people on the internet, they say every American president was a Freemason. That's not true. It's not the truth. Okay? It's just not true. Everybody that signed the Declaration of Independence was a Freemason. No, that's not true either. Franklin was, we know that. There is doubt about whether Jefferson was, but there was about 8 or 9 for sure that we know of, verified, that are Freemasons. But you don't. Here's my point. Let me talk about this for a minute. Some people, the only way that they can make sense of a conspiracy theory is that if everybody is in on the conspiracy, and so that's why some people would say every American president is a Freemason. You have to be in order to be president. Well, I don't know that. You don't know that either. That's just something that somebody made up. If you believe, however, what the Scripture says, that the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience is the god of this world, and all you don't have to be a Freemason to be in the Illuminati. You just have to be lost, an unsaved sinner. That's all you have to be. And so, have we had a lot of those as president? But they weren't all Freemasons. So I don't know. I'm assuming that there is a spirit associated with this building, and there are people. There are no doubt that there are people in this who are belong to this group, have a lot of influence in this nation. No doubt about it. All right. But anyway, here's my point in this. It has 46, it's 33 columns,